In this video, we will learn how to solve a linear equation using the method of guess and check with the TI-30XS MultiView calculator. For this example of solving an equation, I'm going to use the sample GED problem shown on the overhead. We want to solve the equation for x, where the equation is given as 3 times parentheses x plus 2, and we are saying that that's going to equal 2 times parentheses 2 minus x close parentheses, where we're looking for the value of x that will make the left-hand side equal to the right-hand side. You'll notice I've drawn a vertical line to split the equation in two pieces, a left-hand side and a right-hand side. And I've picked as my initial value x equal -2, which is one of the 4 choices we are given for the possible values of x. Now I'm going to use my calculator to keep track of the work that I do in checking whether x equals -2 works. So going ahead and turning my calculator on, the first thing we need to do, clearing that out, I need to go ahead and substitute -2 for the value of x. And we do that by typing in the -2, and then you'll notice there's a key down toward the bottom left-hand corner of the screen that I'm pointing at. Let me move that up a little farther. STO, that means store. When I hit that key, that tells the calculator that the number -2 is about to be stored in a location in memory. In this case, I want to store it in for the letter x. And I go to the key that my finger is pointing at, X, Y, Z, T, A, B, C. Let me hit that key a few times so you see what it does. Looking at the calculator screen, notice there's now an x. I hit the key again, there's a y, then a z, a t, and I cycle all the way through till I get to c, and then it starts with x again. Now I'm going to leave it on x because that's where I want the calculator to store the value of -2 is in for the variable x. So when I hit enter, we see a -2 appear on the right-hand side of the calculator screen. That tells me that the value -2 is now stored in the calculator for the letter x. And now I want to find out what the left-hand side of the equation is equal to when x is -2. So I'm going to type in on the calculator the left-hand side of the equation just as it appears. So 3 parentheses, I go to the variable key and I type it to get the x, plus 2 close parentheses. At this point, the expression 3 times parentheses x plus 2 close parentheses is now in the calculator. When I hit enter, the calculator will find the value for that expression when x is -2, because that's the value we had already stored in the calculator. So when I do that, I get a value of 0. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 right under the left-hand side of the equation. This tells me that this left-hand side is equal to 0 when x is -2. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the right-hand side. I'm going to type that into the calculator and then find the value of that expression when x is -2. So let me shift the calculator over so we can see the right-hand side of the equation as I type this in. So I'm going to type in 2 parentheses 2 minus, and I go to the variable key and I hit x, close the parentheses. When I hit enter, I will find that the value of that expression when x is -2 is equal to 8. And I'm going to go ahead and write that on my paper to keep track of my work. And I now take a look at this and I see that these are not equal. Therefore, when x is -2, the left-hand side of the equation does not equal the right-hand side of the equation, and so therefore this solution doesn't work. So I'm still going to keep trying to find the right solution. So let's try x equals -2/5, which is the next possible answer that we are given. Notice I'm just guessing each of the values that are given in the GED solutions here until I find the right one. So now I'm going to come back up to the calculator. The first thing I need to do is I need to tell the calculator that x is now equal to -2/5. So I do that by going ahead and entering in negative, and then I hit the fraction key, and then I hit the 2. The fraction key, by the way, is this one with the n and the d, n over d. That's fraction numerator, denominator. I hit the 2. I use the cursor key, cursor key to move downward, enter the 5, and then I use the right cursor key to move it over, and I've now completed entering -2/5. I then use the store key. Again, the store key is the one my finger at the bottom left-hand part of the calculator, STO, store. Enter that, and then I go back to the variable key until I get x. I hit enter, and I've now stored -2/5 in for the variable x. At this point, I'm going to go a little more rapidly. The next thing we need to do is to give the calculator the expression to evaluate. Fortunately, we've already typed in 3 times x plus 2 previously. It's right here on the calculator screen. So I can use the up arrow key of the calculator. Notice that it's moving the cursor upwards until I'm right on top of 3 times x plus 2. When I hit enter, it retypes that expression for me, and then I hit enter again, and it finds the value of that expression when x is -2/5, and the value is 24/5. So let's write 24 over 5. That's what that left-hand side is equal to when x is -2/5. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the right-hand side of the equation. Remember, it's going to be 2 times 2 minus x. So I use my cursor key on the calculator again to move up to where we have entered that before. There it is. I hit enter. I hit enter again. Ah, look at that. The answer is 24/5 also. Therefore, 24/5 is equal to 24/5, and therefore answer B, x equals -2/5, is the solution for this equation. In other words, when x is -2/5, the left-hand side of the equation is equivalent in value to the right-hand side of the equation.